Well, talk about grasping for straws. It's getting kind of old, dude. The same as these little emails coming in, obviously coming from you, with all these various threats for me to drop the case. Well, who's going to have the uh, propensity that you have to try to get me to drop the case, which I'm not going to do, sir? I made that abundantly clear. Got a new one last night. Now, if I had my other phone, I'd be able to read it. But occasionally I do get these little letters, and who has reason to try to intimidate me to drop the case? Well, let me assure you again, sir, it's not going to happen. Just to be abundantly clear. Well, good morning, Robert. Barry does a show. I just got up. And of course, he had a show every day to the confines of his detention center cell. What is it you don't understand? That a civil, not criminal case in the United States, whether it was deemed that I would owe $60,000 or $100,000 or $300,000, what the hell does it do with the price of tea in China? You don't seem to get it. You're grasping for straws. There's not anybody that doesn't know about this from here to Nova Scotia. You're very good on putting paperwork out, even relating to your case right here, and a couple of times you've done some illegal shit by putting paperwork that not even my lawyer myself had received. Believe me, that was highly noted. Just to let you know. Oh, don't worry. He's on his way. So Barry comes out with a show. Let's see, what is it, like 5 o'clock here? My normal get-up time. That means this guy was up at like 1 o'clock in the morning to put another show on about me. Damn, dude. Look, I understand your position, but Jesus Christ, dude. Put a cap on it. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And whatever happened on a civil case stays in the United States. What don't you understand about that? The only reason there was a judgment against me is because, although I did appear on Zoom, I didn't appear physically in the court. And that's the only reason the judgment was put on me. Because I didn't have a chance to defend myself. It would have gone the other direction, I'll guarantee you that. However, I did show up on Zoom. But apparently the judge says, well, no, you got to make arrangements for that. But yet he still allowed me to go on Zoom, which is very interesting. But it was a one-way street. Didn't allow me to present any of my evidence at all. That ends that. That ends that. It was a frivolous case put against me because I was selling my house and they saw a paycheck. That's all it was. But he builds it up to be like I committed some horrendous crime. Well, that's what you do when you're desperate. He's been pushing this fucking civil case in Hawaii for how many years now? 3 years he's been pushing this case. As if that's going to make any difference in his particular case right here in the Philippines. Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not dropping anything, especially now. Because I've been getting a lot of threats on my email. And well, who's going to send them but him? Or whoever's related to him in some form or way. trying to get to intimidate me, that don't look good in court, I have to tell you that. This will be brought up. Oh, guarantee. So you think you're helping yourself by saying, gee, this guy had a civil case, civil, mind you, not criminal, in United States of America. Where the fuck is that going to help your ass? No, go ahead, try to introduce it. I have no problem with that at all. None. Has nothing to do with your case. What I'm trying to put through your ignorant head. But then again, we've been through this before. When you're grasping for straws, you try to do things that are desperate. So you're reading off on your show some minutes, or whatever you want to call it, for a case that I had in the United States, not the Philippines. It has no bearing whatsoever to the charges that are against you in court here in the Philippines, not in the United States. Your guilt and your ignorance is showing. You can't even bring that up in court. Period. It's irrelevant to this case. But you're desperate. I understand that. And you're caught up in a quicksand pond, and you're trying to grasp for anything that could get you out of that pond, whether it be a branch or a straw, before you go under. What is it you don't understand? The irrelevance, the complete irrelevance between a civil case that I encountered and your case for 5 counts of cybercrime, cyber libel. They're not related at all. Okay? I realize I'm talking to a cement wall. Look, let me show you what I got. Boy, that's a sign of total desperation. But that's your only worry. Because when a second case comes out on you, and we introduce all your death threats, you're going to be facing yet another case. How's that? How's that? Because we couldn't introduce it as a case alone. It was one thing or another. The one thing I could tell you with certainty is that all this nonsense that you've been putting out on your show, and need I remind you for the 1,000th time that you're not even supposed to be using your cell phone for social media for such purposes. After all, what is your 5 counts, 5 charges? What are they for? Cyber libel. Remember that? Cyber libel. And in more detail, it's for the same thing that you're doing right now on your YouTube channel. Same thing. Radio free. Bill Bummer is too stupid to understand civil versus criminal. That's my point. Thank you very much. That is exactly my point. Now, we all know that this guy is not exactly, by his own demonstration, the brightest light bulb. But it has gone, it'll come down to the point of being so pathetic and so desperate that it clearly shows by every single live stream that he puts on. Quite amazing. Has nothing to do with it. Something like that, a civil case in another country, is not going to be accepted in a trial where you're facing 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, may I remind you, charges. Has nothing to do. Now, I know you'd like to believe that you have some kind of evidence against me with a civil case in the state of Hawaii. Now, you introduce this stuff as if it's something new. I don't know if there's anybody that doesn't know that I had a civil case in Hawaii. I don't even think about it. It's done and over. I had some really lousy tenants. They saw a paycheck coming. That's all it was. And by the way, tenants that didn't pay their rent for 4 months and caused $8,000 worth of damage to my unit. And tenants who are exactly, or shall I say, it's not their first rodeo on what they did as far as non-payment of rent, non-compliance of just about everything that a tenant would be required to do during their tenancy. But Barry's getting so desperate that he feels, let me show these civil cases again. Well, people have seen that. It's old news, Mr. Jordan. It's old news. And he's telling me, oh, you got to go back there and take care of your business. What is it to you? That's my doing. Whether I owed them $60K or 600 fucking K, it don't make any fucking difference. It does not relate in any form or way to your criminal, not civil, criminal case. Boy, you are really stupid. It's nothing we haven't heard before. Here, see this, folks? See this, folks? Look what I got here. Damn, that's desperate. It's entirely desperate. Like they say, well, first of all, if I had a criminal case, and this is the guy that's calling me a pedophile and everything, this is why he has 5 charges against him. If I had a case in, I don't care where it is, United States, UK, bumfuck Egypt, I don't care where it would be. And if I had a case against me that was a criminal case, then you might have something going on there. I don't have a record. And no, I don't have a record, as you might put it, a criminal record. This was a civil case. And all your viewers and people understand the difference between a criminal case and a civil case. But for some reason, you cannot differentiate between the two. And out of pure desperation, you keep on pushing this shit and pushing it and pushing it, thinking that it's going to help you, when in fact, it's going to work against you. The same as these emails that have sporadically come in through the years, threatening me to drop the case. I don't see how that's going to help your ass at all. Well, who else is going to do it but you? Who is the respondent in this case? You. So, okay? You can go into any name you want on an email. But you're not going to intimidate. And that's exactly what you've been trying to do. Try to intimidate me and scare me to drop the case against you. But actually, it's having a reverse effect. The more you talk shit about me on here, the more you intimidate or threaten me, just cements the continuation of my case against you. It's not against me. You're on trial. I'm not on trial. Keep that in mind. You're on trial. Show up in court as you're telling me, well, yo, you got to go back to Hawaii and take care of a bill you owe in a civil case. Well, I wouldn't worry about that. You got bigger problems. You need to show up in court and face the reality of your case. You're the respondent. I'm the complainant. Keep that in mind. And if you think I'm going to go easy on you in any form or way, you're pipe dreaming. The more you talk shit about, well, it don't matter either way. I'm not dropping the case. But it sure has not helped you during the time that this case has been filed on you and became a trial. Nothing you've been doing from that point till now has helped you. In fact, it puts you in bigger doo-doo. Again, you think you're above the law, where you are putting on show after show after show after show after show after show after show in a detention center, locked up. And why are you locked up? Combination of because you think you're above the law, that you felt that you, because you're so special, didn't have to pay his visa fees because you were too special. When all of us that live out here are required to pay our fees, you decided you're too special. Your boozed and mighty whites were more important than your visa fees. Well, that got you into that situation, didn't it? Then you decided, out of revenge, of course, since I am the one that is responsible for immigration, knowing that you would overstay, then you decided to get a little ugly. Let's condense this. And you decided to come on your channel and say what you did, and over and over and over again. And this is while you're incarcerated, which shows the lack of intelligence and the fact that you're not living in your own reality. Nothing has helped you so far. But foremost, you haven't helped yourself. Who the fuck cares about a civil case in Hawaii? I'm not going to go into all the details of the civil case in Hawaii. It's a long time ago. But it had absolutely nothing to do with causing harm to children. It had nothing to do with causing harm to tenants. When somebody's looking for a paycheck and it's not their first rodeo, sometimes that's what happens. When they don't want to pay their rent, and when they figured that they couldn't find another rental after they got, and what people don't know is they got booted out by the court. They were forced to leave my home, trying to hold me hostage to some bullshit complaints. Keep that in mind. They wouldn't even allow me in there, even though they owed rent, to show it to the real estate agents, to show it to the inspectors, because they had a lot to hide. Yeah, they destroyed my place. But I don't need to go into that because it's really irrelevant. But you're trying to make this relevant to your case, and it's not. It's not relevant at all, and it's not even a criminal case. I already know. I mean, how many times could I say it? I already know that if you think, and by the way, didn't he turn in all that information to your lawyer? Wasn't he supposed to? I'm sure your lawyer can't be that stupid to not understand that what happened in Vegas is in Vegas. It's not here. It's totally irrelevant to your defense in your case. That was pretty desperate to have to go put that up again, a civil case. Your desperation is showing. Okay, let's continue on here. There's been nothing you've been doing for the past, well, ever since the charges have been put on you. There's absolutely nothing you've been doing in relationship to social media, your channel, that has helped you in any form or way. Certainly up to this point, it has not, will not, and will never be. Everything's about getting even, and by having your girlfriend put a truly bogus complaint against me to try to get me deported. And you expect leniency from me. Really? I am Big Buddy. Doesn't the videos he does go against it? Yes, go against his case. Aren't his videos being kept for more evidence? Well, of course. Is he that stupid? Yes, apparently he is. Bummer is too stupid to understand civil versus criminal. Apparently so. I'm glad other people see this too. I've never seen such a display of dumbfoundry. I've never seen or experienced somebody who was so dim-witted than this guy. Face it like a man, go to your fucking trial, don't appear on camera. What's the matter, you afraid to face me in a courtroom? Oh, this time I'm going to be on camera, I ain't going there. Because you see, he knows that it's time for me to be witness on the stand. It's just like he was embarrassed last time when he video evidence that he was very shocked. I don't know why he was shocked. The video evidence that was presented on big screen for all to see, and especially for him to see, and the judge to see, clearly pointed out that he was guilty as sin. As stupid as he is, he goes, I can't believe, how did he get that? How did I get the evidence? Are you serious? You broadcasted it. And you were on camera. You broadcasted it. So let's move further with this. He thinks that because I mooned somebody, I mooned Gary on camera on Ricky's show one time. How the hell, or what the hell does it have to do with your case? Oh, the judge is going to see that because you mooned somebody. Ooh, how terrible. What is this, North Korea? Or is it the Philippines? I can see in North Korea, they'd find a reason to kill you for doing something like that. Because I mooned somebody? I thought it was hilarious, by the way. I still do. But you're so desperate that you're going to find things. Oh, Frank mooned, he showed his ass to people on camera. No, my ass. Not my genitals, as you say. It wasn't a lewd thing. I'm on camera spreading my legs, doing something lewd. I mooned somebody. What the fuck? So fucking what? Big fucking deal. Then he's trying to quote a lot of other, finding more discrepancies with me. Oh, see what you did here? Or what you said to this person or that person? Who's on trial? This person? Or are you on trial? What you introduced in court, brainchild, is what your lawyer originally put on his affidavit. Counter affidavit, excuse me. That's what's presented in court. Your lawyer entered whatever your lawyer was going to enter. That's it. Unless he has something else to provide, then he has the right to do it. No civil case anywhere, even in bumfuck Egypt, is going to have any relevance at all to the charges that were put against you, Barry. And writing emails to me to threaten me to drop the case, or else, well, who else is it coming from? Duh, and you think I didn't save those? I got quite a little collection of them over the years. Who is facing not only deportation, but jail? You. Who has a reason to send me these emails, trying to intimidate me to drop the case? You. Do we got that clear? Probably not. Because so far you haven't been able to ascertain your situation. You haven't been able to understand the gravity of what you've been doing. But to make it worse, for him, not me, to make it worse, is that this goober goes on YouTube. And from the first day that he received the charges against him for cyber libel, what does he do? What did you do, Barry? Take a wild guess what you did. It's bad enough that you got the charges against you, but what did you do? You continued that behavior. You continued to commit the crimes. You continued to come on your channel here on YouTube and do the same fucking shit that got you the 5 charges in the first place. Now, if you want to call anybody stupid, go look in the fucking mirror and reflect upon what you're doing, what you have done so far. Nothing you're doing has helped your defense. Zero. In fact, it's made it worse. So I'm telling you, there's going to be a second case against your ass. Only this time it's going to address all the death threats you've made to me. Remember, this case is just basically, mostly, having to do with your libelous statements against me, of trying to label me something so horrible that you would not figure anybody to try to label something. You must hate me a lot, that's for sure. Not one time, not 2 times, not 10 times, not 20 times, not 100 times. You have called me a fucking child predator. Did you think I was going to take that lightly? Taking into consideration the environment of our society. In a society where you can barely look at somebody the wrong way and not get a fucking charge against you. It's come to that. And you think, and you thought that I was going to sit back and just look at it as you quote all the time. Oh, I said some bad words about him. I hurt your feelings. You better rethink that. You don't understand between right and wrong. You don't understand between good and bad. All right, you definitely talked about your childhood, and apparently it was not very good. I have nothing to do with your childhood. I did not abuse you like your family apparently did. Or in particular, I guess you're talking about your dad. Yeah, that does sound like a sucky situation to go through as a kid. I'll agree with you on that much. But it has nothing to do with me. That was your unfortunate situation growing up in an abusive environment that has nothing to do with me. But no, you decided to get abusive. You were projecting. I hardly seen any live streams that you've ever put on or uploads that have anything good to say about anything, or nevertheless have any topic matter, other than yelling at people and blocking people because, well, you do that now. You're still doing it. Somebody on your show may have something to say. Somebody may have something to add to this. There are even some people that were doing some legal quotes in there from what they researched, that trying to make you understand that this does not apply to you, or that doesn't apply to you, and that this is what you could be possibly facing in jail time. But you're trying to convince yourself that that's never going to happen. Well, did you ever think it was going to happen, that immigration would catch up with you? Where are you now? You keep on calling me dumb and stupid, but who's the one that's sitting for over 19 months locked up? You or me? I Am Big Buddy says, Barry thought he was untouchable, hiding in shacks and farmland. Yeah. Hello, Jerry. Late as usual. But Popeye's not late. Popeye understands tardiness. Anyway, it's not about Popeye. And we all understand where Popeye's coming from. A very sad place, another one. But it's not about Popeye this morning. Anyway, that's what's been going on. Apparently he did a show overnight. I don't think he ever sleeps. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. He's still doing a show. He's so fucking stressed out over this. He doesn't even sleep at night. Should I go to bed about 9:30? If I really push it, 10 o'clock. I'm not up at 1 o'clock in the morning doing shows about him. Because he knows exactly what he's facing. Hello, raining cats and dogs. What a laugh. He's going to tell the judge this and that. Yeah, Barry, as if, right? As if it's going to make a fucking difference at all. As far as I'm concerned, that's in Vegas and it stays in Vegas. You know the old saying. It's totally irrelevant to my case. Now, if it was a criminal case in America and I had a felony, then he might have something going there. But not being the case, I actually have no criminal record. And there's a big difference between criminal and civil, Barry. I think all of us are trying to make you understand that. I do not have a criminal record. I have no criminal record. Zero. This was a civil. And as much as I try to repeat it to you, you just can't swallow that pill. It was a civil case. It don't matter what it was about. It was a civil case. Again, civil, Barry, not criminal. I do not have a police record of such, or rather a criminal record. None. You got the balls and the gall to call somebody some kind of a child predator, which is the biggest mistake, one of them, that you ever did in your life, and now you're paying for it. Now you're paying for it, and you don't like it, do you? Oh, I'm supposed to feel sorry and sympathy for you? No, get it from somebody else. You're not getting no sympathy from me, pal. None at all. Either way, no matter what court decision is made, you still lose. This is a non-win situation for you in regards to yourself. It's a non-win situation. Whether you don't plead guilty or you do plead guilty, or it don't matter. The evidence was out already. Now I get to go on a stand, and that's making you piss your pants, isn't it? Well, I'm not going to be in court. I'm just going to go on camera. Why? Because you're a coward. And you don't want to face, and you hated it when my girlfriend was on a witness stand, didn't you? Oh, you hated that. But what you hated more was when your dumb fucking face showed up on a big screen in the courtroom. And all the time thinking to yourself, and I don't know why you thought I didn't have evidence. You know I record everything. But when you actually seen the reality of it, like it hit you in the face, didn't it? The reality of what you did hit you in the face, didn't it? When on screen, on a big screen, there was your mug saying exactly what you did to get you in that trouble in the first place. I wouldn't be surprised if he let loose of an ounce of fucking urine during that event. Maybe if you come to court, you better bring some Depends or something, because there's more to come. Face the reality. You're in some big-ass fucking trouble. Okay. And you could point the finger to me or whatever you want to do and say, well, I had the right to say that. No, you didn't have the right to say that. And it's also very repetitive, and I'm actually tired of it. And so is everybody else that listens to your show. It's repetitive, it's redundant, and it makes no difference. What you wish for, what you hope for, is not always what you're going to get. You are certainly not going to change what transpired. You're not going to change the fact that you've been continually coming on your show. This is to show how stupid you are. This is to show how stupid you are. Another quick reminder. You got 5 cyber count cases against you, and you're doing the same thing again. Let me ask you, how's that helping you? How does it work for you so far? Tell us about how's it worked for you in a positive way so far? You mean you get 5 cyber libel charges against you and you're on trial. And you're coming on live streams on YouTube, social media, and you know like what got you in trouble in the first place? You know the 5 the cases against you? Do you realize you're doing it again? All this time? Every time you call me a child molester, a chomo, that I got erectile dysfunction, that I've got, I don't know what the list goes on. I'm stupid, I'm an old man. There's so many elements in this case. There's discrimination, there's threats to drop the case. Do you honestly think in your sick mind that by attacking me over and over again on a live stream is going to help you out or your case? What kind of a stupid pill did you swallow? Raining Cats and Dogs. This is a classic case of fuck around and find he did, and you showed him. But I'm going to say it again. A civil case in another country, there's no relevance whatsoever to the case that I filed against you, to the 5 charges. It's irrelevant. But out of desperation, oh, see what I got here, folks? Read this. This is for real. Yeah, he had a case in Hawaii against him from his tenants. Old news? Hate to tell you. It's true. There was a civil case filed against me, a very frivolous case, for a paycheck that they're never going to receive. That's the bottom line. I think last I heard, I don't think he's even together with his old lady. In fact, I think even the mother-in-law or whatever passed away. At least the information I heard last from an old neighbor. How's it helped him? Karma's a bitch, isn't it? So what have we learned so far, Mr. Jordan? What have we learned? What have we learned? That according to the laws in the Philippines, you committed a crime. It's not America, this is the Philippines. And I know I don't live here. I don't live in the Philippines, he says. Where do I live? Bumfuck Egypt? Are you confusing Philippines with Philadelphia? No, I live in the Philippines. And whether I have a 13A or have an SRRV, this is where I am. I'm in the Philippines. Last I checked. Last I checked, I got a Filipino girlfriend. Last I checked, I've been out here over 8 years, going to go on 9 years in February. Last I checked. No, I'm not living out here. I'm not living out here. Well, I'm living somewhere. What a buffoon. You know, I'm serious when I tell you that, dude. And again, I'm always going to put some kind of disclaimer on here. By your own demonstration. I'll always use that word because it's appropriate. By your own demonstration, you have proved the lack of intellect that you have, the lack of a working brain. by your own behavior, by your own display, for all to see. Not just me, for everybody to see. If your vehicle has 6 cylinders, you're only working on 2 of them. If you had a vehicle, but you probably never owned one. And if you did, you were driving illegally anyway, according to all the vehicular cases that were filed against you. And actually, they were called criminal vehicular case. They were entitled criminal. What did you do? Did you run somebody over? What did you do? If they weren't typical traffic violations, it was labeled criminal violations. Criminal seems to be a word that goes with you very well. Criminal. I could come up with a question, say, when will you ever learn? Well, it's apparent that you will never learn. It's so obvious that you do not have the ability to comprehend your own environment. You don't have the ability to comprehend what's going on with you legally. You don't have the ability to comprehend that you are in big ass trouble legally. You don't have that ability. Apparently. I guess the only way you're going to ever learn from this is actually to be put into a fucking prison. Oh, you've had it a little bit too cushy where you are. You've had it much too cushy. Now, I don't know what deal you worked out with the guards, but it's kind of like this, Barry. When you have 5 cybercrime charges libelous, which was instituted by the use of an electronic instrument, as with the Regulatory Commission would quote that any crime committed by electronic or otherwise can be used in a court of law. And you're so goddamn stupid that you're continuing to use this electronic item on social media. And what are you doing with it? Well, number one, of course, you're not supposed to be using that in there for such purposes or even have it at all. But I'll tell you right now, if you went to prison, that's all gone. That's gone and done. But to finish up, you're doing, okay, I'll make it as simple as I can. You're doing the same thing that got you into trouble in the first place. I probably said this about 500 times so far. What is it you don't understand about what you're doing? Why, you think this stuff doesn't get recorded? Obviously, you know it is. You are so fucking ignorant. So fucking ignorant that you come on your channel and you do the same shit. Make that a 501 times I've said it. The same shit that puts you in the position you are right now. And you want your freedom? How are you going about that to get your freedom when you continue to do the same crimes you did that got you in the situation in the first place on trial? How do you figure this? As you say, I'd really like to know. I'd really like to know. You know what, Jerry? I don't know. No, nobody's going to be eating crow. Not me. I think you're wrong, pal. I don't know, Jerry. There's something going on with that because Roberto always has something to say. Whether he comes on in a comment of somebody else's show or he puts one of his little ditties out there. Yeah, there's something definitely going on with Roberto, and nobody seems to want to talk about it. Either his old lady broke up with him or something, or he died or something. I don't know. I can't give you the answer to that. But Roberto's not the kind of guy to just go under sock accounts only. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there and he's one of the trolls. But although that's likely with his behavior, it is unlikely that he wouldn't be doing shows against me. It's unlikely that he's not, posting anything on there. So yeah, that's a good question that I've also posed myself. What happened to him? I really don't know. I'm curious now. I've been curious actually, but I couldn't answer that question. I think somebody must know something. One of the trolls, but they don't want to say what's going on because they figure it's going to be to my satisfaction. That's what I'm thinking, Jerry. They don't want to have it come out because I said people are dropping like flies. And because he was very adverse to me, his constituents, shall I say, don't want me to be in an advantage where I know about what happened to him, if something terrible actually happened with him. Because they figure it's going to make me feel good. I think somebody knows something out there. Or maybe not. Because if something happened to Roberto, you think, what, his wife is going to get on YouTube and say, oh, just to let you guys know that Roberto passed away or whatever. I really don't think he had it written down somewhere that, hey, just in case something happens to me, you got to get on YouTube and tell everybody that I'm no longer here or whatever happened to me. No, I don't know what's going on with him. He might have some circumstances where he's just not going to, maybe his wife got on his ass about all this YouTube shit. I don't know. She should have done that years ago, actually. Or something with his health went awry. But all you could do is speculate, and that's all you could actually do until you actually know the real answer to that. I know, that's what makes it very interesting, because he always has something to say about me. Always will post some kind of a short or something on me. And for him not to do that, yeah, it's very interesting. But how would anybody know anyway? Let's say he did pass on. How would anybody know anyway? I mean, I highly doubt it that he, told his wife or somebody that, in the event that something happens to me, make sure you go on YouTube and tell everybody. No, I don't think that's the case. Just like if something ever happened to me, if I passed on, nobody's going to know about it. They just think I got off YouTube or something. My girlfriend's not going to come on YouTube and announce it. Nobody's going to really know. Here today, gone tomorrow. That's kind of the way it is for all of us. As much as many people would like to believe that they're invincible, that they're immortal, and they're going to live forever, I know I'm not going to live forever. I'm just doing my best to wake up each morning like anybody else does. Put your pants on one leg at a time. But anyway, getting back to the main subject here. And I realize this is getting old. It's been old a long time ago. This is beyond being old. This has become ancient. And the redundancy that goes out there between myself and with him, especially, is becoming to the point of, like, well, what's the point? That's what it really is. What's the point? It's been already established that the guy's incarcerated over 19 months. Oh, he has a reason to be upset. But he bestowed that upon himself. Let him get upset at himself. Actually, I'm sure he is. I'm sure how many times he hit himself head against the wall and said, "You're so fucking stupid. You're stupid. Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Why did I do that?" Maybe not. Because that guy's a cocky motherfucker, man. The cockiest motherfucker I ever encountered in my life. But that may have to do with the possibility, and disclaimer on here, the possibility of his mental illness. Disclaimer. My opinion. And again, by his own demonstration. Keep that in mind for legal purposes. Stupid is, stupid does. Now he has to pay the price. What did he think was going to happen? He seems to think that Americans have more say here in the Philippines because we're extra special, we're Americans. No, we're not extra special out here. Maybe some women might think we're extra special. They love foreigners, but you're not extra special in the judicial system out here. You're just another Joe. And whether you're Filipino or whether you're American, it don't matter to the judicial system out here. They have a set of laws that either you follow or you don't follow. And you make that choice on your own. But he always thought he was above the law, obviously so. And where is he now? There's nothing he could say on any live stream that he does I haven't heard before. He doesn't know what the fuck to talk about. If it wasn't for me, he would never have a show. He's not capable of coming up with a real topic matter, and I've certainly proved that I can do that, and I've done that historically for 9 years. I don't come on here and say, oh, well, then have 5 or 10 minutes of silence trying to think of what to say. I've always got something to say. You can't have dead air. Let's make believe this is radio, which it basically is if I'm not on video portion here. You can't have dead air on the radio. That's the rule. If you've got a radio station, for example, you can't have dead air. Somebody has to be talking, whether it's have a commercial on their advertisement, something has to be going on the airwaves. You can't have dead airspace. Same thing with doing a live stream. The idea is that you have something to say, whether it's negative or positive, you have to have something to say. You can't have dead airspace because you're sitting there thinking, well, what do I talk about now? Okay, I'll just talk about Frank again. Because that's all I got. That's all I got. I could think of a few other people could do the same thing, actually. One that's simulcasting me right now. Anyway, I gotta enjoy my cup of tea. I just wanted to comment, and I was debating whether I was going to do that or not. But nevertheless, I did. Pardon me. 1 o'clock in the morning he's doing. 1 o'clock in the morning. He's doing yet another live stream about me. Wow. Does he get any sleep? Or is he actually basically dwelling on me 24 hours a day. Dude, just face your case. Right here in the Philippines. It's not happening in America. It's not happening in the UK. It's happening right here in the Philippines. You're on trial. Keep that in mind. I'm not on trial. You're on trial. Not me. Keep that in mind. Go to court and be a good boy. You'll get your turn. Go there and face the reality of your situation. I know it just blew you away to see evidence on big screen on you. For some unbeknownst reason, while you kept on thinking I have no evidence on you, how could I not? You'd go on camera with this shit and call me a child predator and whatever else. What, you really thought I didn't have the ability to know how to download something or put it on a fucking memory card? You don't give me enough credit. Yeah, I am technically challenged, but my God, I know how to do that. And why would you think that I didn't have any evidence on you? Well, perhaps it was wishful thinking, of course, on your part. But didn't work out your way, did it? Didn't work out your way. I'm looking forward to the 12th. You have no idea. I'm looking forward. I want to do my testimony. Evidence has already been presented, so that part is over with. Thank goodness. You're not going to stop the case. If I drop dead tomorrow, you're not going to drop the case is not going to be dropped. The case goes on, in case you didn't know that. Face the reality of what you did instead of putting shows on every day, trying to defend yourself, but in the process, making the situation for you a hell of a lot worse. Do you even understand the concept of what you've been doing? Do you ever sit down and think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not supposed to be talking about, nevertheless presenting documents that never even got in the hands of myself and my lawyer, and spreading and putting it out on social media, nevertheless running across the courtroom, trying to present something to the judge out of order, completely being out of order, and made a fool of yourself by doing so. Face the reality. You're more than likely going to do some time, so you're going to have to adjust your mind to that. More than likely. But like I said, and even you said, you can't predict the future in court. That's true. One of the few things you ever said that is true. Instead of being a blatant lie. Nobody knows. But I could say with a guarantee that it's not going to go your way. You already fill the requirements of doing the crime. Body evidence already presented, the visual evidence. It's already done. It's already done. It's been noted in the minutes by the clerk, in judge's records. He makes his own little notes too. The fiscal does a lot of the work because the judge has a lot of cases on his dockets, and he may not remember every detail of a case. That's where the fiscal comes in, and the court minutes are noted and so forth, and it goes in the hands of the judge for further reference. I gotta tell you, dude, you are the most ignorant person, if not on the planet. By the way you talk, what you say, how you demonstrate to us what real stupidity is. Normally, a person who's facing charges like he is would try to do things that's going to actually help their predicament. But the way your brain is wired is that you're doing exactly the opposite. Which brings the question, of course, what are you trying to accomplish? You trying to help yourself? Are you trying to make things worse for yourself? Well, we've answered that. You've answered that question to all of us. I know you're dependent on me putting a show on talking about you, right? I just like to emphasize, I come on here just to basically emphasize your stupidity. Again, by your own demonstration. And you're doing a fantastic job of that. You're doing a bang-up job of that. Here we get it. Everyone wants to be free. Like a bird in a cage wants to spread its wings and fly again. I get it. I get it. Freedom is a valuable thing. And when freedom is taken away from you, any one of us, it's not a great thing, is it? It sucks, doesn't it? I imagine it does. But the one thing you got to think about is, how did you get there? You had to have done something, right? I mean, you don't wind up on trial for nothing. It's not the way it works. You had to have done something to go on trial. Have you figured that out yet? Sit there and think about it and think to yourself, how did I get into this predicament? Think hard. I know it's hard for you with burned out brain cells, my opinion. Think real hard. Real hard. But you should be thinking this, how do I get out of this? Oh, by acts of revenge? By doing live shows on YouTube? Putting yourself in a worse predicament that you're already in? Okay, question. How's that helped you so far? I want to know. How does that help you so far? How has it helped you so far? It hasn't. Wake up, dude. I'm trying to help you here, but I'm trying to make you understand common sense, which apparently is just not part of your makeup. Common sense, dude. Common fucking sense. Look, you could do show after show after show, live stream after live stream. Where's it gotten you so far? Something to think about. As I said, you can send all the threatening or intimidating emails you want. It just furthers my position that I will never have any sympathy for you, that I'm never going to drop the case. So stop writing me all these emails under fictitious names. Think I didn't keep them or make a copy of them? I got a stack of stuff here. We've got a printer here. I print all this shit up myself. I don't go to some outfit to print it. We got it right here. I print up anything that I might find to be very relevant in this case. Okay, been on here long enough, said what I needed to say this morning. And I got no more to say about this today, except a very desperate attempt to try to discredit me hasn't worked. In a civil case, lastly, and worth repeating, a civil case has no bearing. Civil, mind you, not criminal, has no bearing on what's going on in your situation, sir. None. You got it? Am I getting through to you somehow? And it's not something you could introduce in court because there's no felon. There was not a crime committed. It was a civil judgment based on the fact that I didn't appear in person. Period. And that's why a judgment went down. But there is no crime. Like I said, I can go to the state of Hawaii and I could camp out in front of the police station. And the only thing they could cite me for is unlawful use of their perimeter. I could dance in front of the police station. And all they could say is he's either a fool or he's high on drugs or something, or he's a public nuisance, and we'll give him a misdemeanor. I committed no crimes in the state of Hawaii, period. But you cannot differentiate between civil and criminal, apparently.